Quest 2, or formerly known as the Oculus Quest 2, is Meta's new take on VR headsets that offer immersive gaming experience without needing to tether it to a PC or a smartphone. It's built on the same core as its predecessors, but offers several improvements, mainly in design, performance, and display resolution. While there are certain caveats to owning this headset, which I will get to later in this video, overall, it's a decent option for people looking to get into VR gaming without breaking the bank. This headset will set you back around $400 for the standard 128GB unit. However, I recommend you get a 256GB, which costs $100 more but stores tons of more games than the standard model. You might get a better deal if you're open to second-hand options, as the original price of Quest 2 was around $300. However, despite the recent price hike, the Quest 2 is still an affordable option that offers excellent value. Another point that I must mention is that Meta 3 is also on the cards. Some details have started to emerge, and it will likely be scheduled this year. With the release of a new version, you might avail of even better features. Plus, the price of Meta 2 might also drop, making it an even more appealing option. As for those who cannot wait to get their hands on a VR headset, let me tell you a little more about Quest 2. Let me start with some basics. The Quest 2 is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2, offers 6GB RAM, and varying storage capacities at different price points. The battery pack time varies based on the installed applications, but it should last at least 2.5 hours on average. Furthermore, the display is impressive with a resolution of 1832 by 1920 per eye and a frame refresh rate of 120Hz. It certainly sounds great on paper, but does the spec sheet translate into performance? Let's find out. Design. At a glance, the design of Meta Quest 2 looks minimalistic and oozes elegance. It's one of those units that look incredible whether you decide to wear them or simply rest them on a table. If you have used VR headsets before, you will immediately notice how sleek this design is. Quest 2 is 1.1 pounds, which is about 10% less than its predecessor. Trust me, once you have used this, even the premium headsets will make you feel like you're weighing down. I have spent a lot of time with the headset to come up with this video, and even in sessions that lasted hours, I experienced little to no fatigue. While the lightweight plays an important role, the generous use of foam pads make things even better. A few minutes into the experience, you will forget that you're wearing a plastic device on your face. Coming back to design, the manufacturer has emphasized a clean design by smartly positioning its buttons and ports layout. The power button is on the right side, the volume rocker is underneath on the right side, while the ports such as the headphone jack and USB-C are designed on the left side. Furthermore, the spacing of lenses can be adjusted manually by either pinching them or spreading them out within the headset. Unlike its predecessor, it does not come with a switch that had to be used to change viewing settings. You simply have to pull out the eye mask and adjust the position with your hands. A separator can also be inserted to lift the headset and accommodate glasses. However, despite the separator, the experience is definitely compromised, especially if you wear large frames. Performance. As discussed earlier, the Quest 2 is powered by Snapdragon XR2 chip, which 6GB RAM complements. If you have used the previous generations of Quest, you will notice a significant jump in performance. It's mainly because the original Quest used Snapdragon 835 CPU, a chipset that was not designed for VR headsets. Quest 2, on the other hand, features XR2, which has been developed to power VR headsets specifically. As a result, the performance of the Quest 2 feels more smooth and improved than its predecessor. Furthermore, my use of Quest 2 has not crashed even once. And I'm still to experience any lag or malfunction with respect to its hardware and operating system. It has been quite a while since I got it, and despite throwing some abuse at it, the VR headset has not let me down. That said, despite the new chipset, the VR headset still has a long way to go to offer comparable performances to Xbox or PS5, let alone a powerful gaming PC setup. Controls. VR headsets are relatively new inventions, thus the controls of these devices must be intuitive so the masses can learn them. Luckily, Quest 2 offers such controls. You get controllers that are redesigned versions of Oculus Touch and offer better gesture tracking. The overall controls are almost the same as the previous unit, which includes 2 shoulder buttons, clickable analog sticks, and a pair of buttons on each controller. Overall, it's a nice setup that is not just comfortable, but easy to use for a variety of games. The triggers are snappy, which coupled with motion sensors, makes taking headshots absolutely fun. Furthermore, the haptics are impressive and offer a distinct buzz for different elements within an experience or a game. While the overall performance of these controllers is impressive, their use of AA batteries is a solid downside. Yes, these controls are not rechargeable, which is probably the major letdown in Quest 2. You will have to put in AA batteries to make them work. Luckily, the timing with them is impressive. Each controller requires a single battery and runs up to 30 hours with it. The other thing that I want to talk about in control is hand tracking. Sure, it's a good feature that allows you to navigate around the headset with your hands, but frankly, it's still a new thing with a long way to go. The controls with bare hands are decent, but they are nowhere near as intuitive as you might want them to be. Then there's the question of applications that support hand gestures, and for now, those are quite limited. The hand gestures will work incredibly on some games, while they will fail to register with some other games. Games. A VR headset is about as good as the games and experiences it can play. Unfortunately, the Quest 2 offers a solid lineup. Tons of games are based on AAA franchises, and the ones specifically developed to take full advantage of Quest 2 capabilities. I have spent most of my time on Beat Saber, which is a slashing game, and Superhot VR, an immersive time-bending shooting game. Other popular games on the Quest 2 include Tetris Effect, Pistol Whip, Vader Immortal, Polyarch's Moss, Resident Evil 4, and The Walking Dead. In addition to games, there are several satisfying experiences as well. It must be mentioned that there is a decent number of free games on Quest 2, so you do not necessarily have to purchase a game just to enjoy an immersive experience. If you're running on a budget, you should try Township Tale, Bait, Gorilla Tag, Echo VR, The Playroom VR, and Rec Room. Each of these games deserves a video of its own, but for now, I think this is sufficient for this section. The Quest 2 also makes an incredible multiplayer device, which allows you to play in virtual spaces with your friends and enjoy different experiences. The most fun game you should try with your friends is VR Brawler Path. Spoiler alert, it's absolutely hilarious! While the headset itself has a diverse range of games, those who cannot get enough can extend the library by getting Oculus Link cable, which costs around $80. It allows you to connect the VR headset to a PC and enjoy a better range of experiences and games. Before I move to the closing remarks, let me tell you about an application called Oculus Killer, which takes you directly to Steam VR and offers even more games for your headset. Should you buy it? The Quest 2 is an impressive VR headset, but it's not without its issues. Probably the most important of them is the lack of rechargeable controllers. However, if you factor in other features and the line of games it offers, it certainly makes an appealing option. Those who already own Oculus Quest will certainly experience a major improvement in performance, but I'm not sure if the improvement is good enough to compel them to spend another $300. As for those looking for a new headset, the Quest 2 might be just it. Within its price bracket, Quest 2 is hard to beat. That's all I had for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and stay connected with the channel. As always, I will see you at the next one.